This is page 189. This is the independent practice for lesson 7.3. Just going to warn you now that some of the problems on this page are tricky. That's okay. I'm going to help you to the best of my ability. I would advise that you solve the problems on page 189 this way. We'll read the problem together. I'll help you set up the problem, and as soon as you think you understand what to do, go ahead and hit pause on the video, try the problem, and then hit play to check your answers. Number 12 reads, what is a conversion factor you can use to convert gallons to pints, and how did you find it? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remind you that we had this table on page 186, and it looks like this. So I'm going to refer to it, and whenever you get a problem and you're not sure of a conversion, you can go look at this. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look for gallons and quarts, because the question said gallons to quarts. Nope, it didn't. It said gallons to pints. So I'm sorry about that. It said gallons to pints. So if I look here, I see pints here and I see gallons here, but I don't see gallons to pints anywhere. So where is my gallons to pints? There's gallons to quarts, but where's gallons to pints? Well, there isn't gallons to pints, but look at what this one is. This says 1 quart is 2 pints, and this says 1 gallon is 4 quarts. Well, if there's 2 pints in every 1 quart, what can I do? I can simply multiply by 2, and what would I get? I'd get 8 pints. PT is pints. So I'm going to go back to my page here. What is a conversion factor you can use to convert gallons to pints? It says, how did you find it? I'm going to write 1 gallon equals 8 pints. And it says, how did you find it? What I'm going to do here is I'm going to show my work. And on my conversion chart, it said 1 gallon was equal to 4 quarts. That's what it says. And then it also says 1 quart is equal to 2 pints. So since, I guess I already explained it, but since each gallon has 4 quarts and there's 2 pints in a quart, you just multiply 4 times 2 and you get 8. So your answer is right here. 1 gallon is 8 pints, and then your explanation is off to the side. All right, let's move on. Number 13. Some more conversions we're going to need here. It says 3 friends each have some ribbon. Carol has 42 inches of ribbon. Pay attention to the fact that the units change. Tino has 2.5 feet of ribbon, and Baxter has 1.5 yards of ribbon. Express the total length of ribbon the 3 friends have in inches, feet, and yards. So total means we're going to add them all up. But right now you can't add those all up because we've got inches, feet, and yards. What I would do is convert them all to inches. Now in order to do that, you have to know some conversions. So I'm going to go back to my page here. And here's the conversions you need to know. You need to know that there are 12 inches in a foot. And you need to know that there are 36 inches in a yard. And you need to know that there are 3 feet in a yard. That should be all that we need. So I'm going to go back to my page here. And I'm going to add up 42 inches to, I'm going to convert this to inches right here. So 2.5 feet is how many inches? Well, I know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. And now I'm trying to figure out 2.5 feet. And so I'm going to multiply by 2.5. I'm going to multiply 12 by 2.5. We can review from Module 5 how to multiply decimals. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. And x is 0. 2 times 2 is 4. And 2 times 1 is 2. And I'm going to get 30. It kind of looks like 300, but I have to move my decimal over once, so I get 30. So what I know here is that 2.5 feet is 30 inches. Now I need to erase this and make some more room. 2.5 feet is 30 inches. I'm going to need that in just a minute. And then I got to do 1.5 yards of ribbon. And I might show you a different method on this. Just maybe some common sense. 1.5 yards is equal to 1 1/2 yards. Watch what I'm going to do here. From my conversion chart, I know that 1 yard is equal to 36 inches. And now I'm going to use common sense and do half a yard. is half of 36. That's 18 inches. So now what I can do is I can add up, to get all my inches, I can add up 42 and 30 and 36 and 18, and that will be my total. I'm going to do that on the far left margin. So I've got 42 plus 30 plus 36 plus 18. I'm going to have 16, and that's 6 plus 4 is 10, 11, 12. So I've got 126 inches, and that is correct for how many inches they have. Now, we need to change that into, need to convert that into feet, and we can do that by dividing, and we're going to divide by 12, and here's why. If you set up a proportion, this would explain it right here. If you set up a proportion, there are 12 inches in 1 foot, and I have 126 inches in, I don't know, feet. Well, how do you get from 12 to 126? You don't know. You have to divide, so I'm going to do that right here. 126 divided by 12. And this isn't nearly as hard as you might think. 12 goes into itself once. 1 times 12 is 12. 12 doesn't go into 6, so I can annex a 0 and drop it. 12 goes into 60 5 times exactly. 5 times 12 is 60. So I'm done. The answer is 1.5. I'm sorry. It's 0. I forgot that 0 right there. I made a mistake. I'm going to undo that and make sure you're clear, because I messed up pretty bad, actually. When I have 12 doesn't go into 6, I can only annex a 0 here after I tell the quotient that 12 doesn't go into 6. Then I can annex a 0. So it's going to be 10.5. 10.5 feet. And I can figure out how many yards that is by knowing the conversion between feet and yards. There are 3 feet in 1 yard. So how many yards is it for 10.5 feet? So I'm going to divide 10.5 by 3. 3 goes into 10 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 goes into 15 5 times. 5 times 3 is 15. My quotient comes straight up. The answer is 3.5. And we could check our answers pretty simply. We could do things like, watch this one, 126 divided by 12 is 10.5. How about this? What's 3.5 times 36? That's 3.5 yards times 36 inches. It should be 126. It is. So, cool. All right, let's move on. This video will probably go through number 14 and then stop there because we will be out of time on this video and we'll make a new video for the next page. Susanna wants to measure a board, but she doesn't have a ruler to measure with. However, she does have several copies of a book that she knows is 17 centimeters tall. So instead of a ruler, she's going to use a book that's 17 centimeters. Basically, she's using a ruler that's 17 centimeters. And she's got a bunch of those. Okay. Susan lays the book end to end and finds the board is the same length as 21 books. So she's got, I'm just kind of painting a picture here, she's got 21 of these, and they're each 17 centimeters. So how many centimeters long is the book? That's a simple multiplication problem. It's a bunch of books that are 17 centimeters long. It's 21 of them. So it's 21 times 17. So I'm going to write how I get that. 21 times 17 is, and I'm going to do the math over here. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 7, 5, 3. I'm going to get 357 centimeters. All right. Question B. Susanna needs a board that is at least 3.5 meters long. Is the board long enough? So remember from A, it was a board. She finds a board. So this right here is a board. It's really important to recognize that she finds the board, and that board is 357 centimeters long. So she needs a board that's 3.5 meters. Is this board up here that's 357 meters long enough? So here's the question. Is this one more than 3.5 meters? Well, they're different units, so in order to compare that, what we would do is we'd convert between centimeters and meters. It's really kind of the whole essence of this entire lesson is we're converting between different units. So I'm going to go and set up my conversion, which is there's 100 centimeters in 1 meter, and we need to figure out 3.5 meters. Or I guess it doesn't matter. We can, yeah, that's a good way of doing it. Let's do it this way. We need to figure out 3.5 meters. So now what I'm going to do here is multiply 1 times 3.5, and I get 3.5. And so you multiply 100 times 3.5. And I'm going to do it right here, in case you haven't noticed me do this before. When I multiply by things that end in 0, I put the zeros off to the side. And I do 1 times 5 is 5, and 1 times 3 is 3. And I annex both zeros, and then I move my decimal over one place. So we know that 3.5 meters is 350 centimeters. So it says right here that she needs a board that is at least 3.5 meters. Another way of saying that is she needs a board that's 350 centimeters. Is her board that's 357 centimeters long enough? The answer is yes, because 357 centimeters is greater than 350 centimeters. The other way of saying it is, we could do it this way too. Check this out. 3.57 meters is greater than 3.5 meters. It's the same thing. You notice that it's the same numbers. Really, to convert this to meters, you just divide by 100, which means put the decimal right here, 3.57. So the answer is yes, the board is long enough. Okay, we're going to stop this video, and the next video we'll pick up at the bottom of the page. Good job.